Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning, I want to talk about part two of the purpose of margin, the purpose behind building margin into your personal finances on a daily basis. So let's jump right into it. So margin will not necessarily prevent an emergency. We know that. So you may still have that emergency, and we can't prevent the emergency necessarily. You can't prevent somebody getting sick or a car accident or something like that. But what you can do is do your very best to build in margin so that if and when that occurrence happens, that you are better prepared to be in a place where you have a clear mind to be able to accurately and properly make decisions in that time so that you're not backed into a corner when you need to be focusing on the situation or the issue at hand. So you may be thinking, Jared, why not just lecture on personal finance? Why not just find, the generally accepted financial principles that are universal truths, and we can have a discussion around that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I have found is personal finance is personal. And much like someone who is maybe a line cook in a restaurant, you have specific ingredients that produces a certain result as a cook. But when you're a baker and you work in a bakery, let's say, you're going to be putting together certain ingredients, but they're much more fluid based on what your outcome and what the outcome you're actually looking for is going to be. And so I look at it from the standpoint of like, okay, well, ultimately when dealing with someone's personal finances, you have to put on the baker's hat. You have to look at it from a standpoint of, okay, it's going to take certain aspects, certain components, certain ingredients in order to help them build out their ultimate vision and back that out into not only goals, but actionable steps. So oftentimes I run into people who have an emotional tie with money. And the funny thing is money is just a tool. It just is a tool to provide options. It is neither moral or immoral. It's amoral. You can make money associated to moral or immoral things and carry it out that way. But money, and more specifically the US dollar, is just a fiat currency. It's a agreed upon valuation for the exchange of goods or services. And oftentimes people look at it from the standpoint of like, oh, but money is bad and pursuing acquiring money or building wealth is a negative motivation. It's not a good motivation to have. But I think that if you have a proper view point of money and a viewpoint of the options it opens up for you, you can have a healthy relationship with it, and it won't have that negative connotation that maybe historically it has had for you. So there's a quote by Howard Thurman that I love, and what it is it says, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do it." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So my question really is, what makes you come alive? Look at it from a standpoint of your vision, what the ultimate vision is for your life. Don't chase the money. Look at it from the vision and allow your mind to process through, how do I get there? What does that look like? Because oftentimes you actually need less money than you think you do in order to hit that vision that you ultimately have for your life. So I believe that you win at what you focus on. And when you focus on that vision that you set forth and you back that out into a daily routine, a daily rhythm that then feeds up into your goals and your benchmarks and so on and so forth to get there, that you're setting up yourself for success, for that positive compound effect to set in order for you to ultimately hit that vision over a period of time. So there's something in corporate America that's often used for looking at the performance of a company. And I'm going to apply it today because it can be applied to your personal finances. When you're looking out at that big vision that you want to accomplish, look at it from a standpoint of, okay, what have I done in the past that has led me up to this point in life today? And then also look at it from the standpoint of, what do I actually need to change? What do I need to adjust in order for me to change the trajectory to head towards that ultimate vision? So when you look at the historical aspects, and that may be for you, it may be your credit card statement. You can look at your credit card statement and say, okay, this is how I've spent my money in the past. And so that gives me a good indicator of what I need to change in my spending habits going forward if I want to hit certain benchmarks. So those are called lag indicators. So it's looking at a historical reference of how can we learn from the past. Then there's something called a lead indicator. A lead indicator is looking at, okay, well, what do I need to put into place in order to create a certain outcome? And that can be applied to a spending plan, for example, where you're building out that plan in order to hit certain goals along the way. So creating margin is not a diet. It's a lifestyle plan, and you need to look at it from a holistic point of view, not a temporal point of view, but a long-term standpoint. And that is the goal of coming back here every day, is basically being able to look at a holistic approach to your personal finances, and not just looking at savings, not just looking at investing, and not just looking at giving, but having a balanced approach, a holistic approach to managing your personal finances. So my call to action today really comes down to, what is your relationship with money? Is it positive or negative? Is it empowering or is it abusive? But think about it from a standpoint of, that relationship with money is going to cause you to look through a lens into life in a very different manner. And so my goal is really to help you remove the lenses that may be skewing your viewpoint of ultimately what you can accomplish when you're putting that money, that resource, to work towards the vision that you have for your life. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can join us back here every day in order to get better at your finances. Thanks for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back tomorrow.